You want to watch me decorate my binder for a midwifery school? I mean, you can. No big deal. So, I'm trying to get back into filming. I have not filmed a YouTube video in probably over a year. And at that time, I was an ER nurse, which I'm not even doing anymore. So, I guess we could start at that point. It's low-key sad how I was really excited for that role, like that transition from a nursing assistant in the ER department to a nurse in that department. And I low-key want to say things kind of unraveled pretty fast after I did all that, and I was excited. But to make a long story pretty short, it wasn't 100% the staff. It was just like the ER was a lot, especially after COVID. COVID changed nursing as a whole, and every day that I went to work, I loathed it. Like when I woke up, I'm like, I have to go to work. And it got to the point where I dreaded going to work. Even though I was picking up the hours, extra money, but like it was torture because it's like now there's more time in a place I don't even enjoy. And it was just the fact that our ER was always like, the census was crazy, like in a 46 bed ER. And I can't even say like, there's not even 46 rooms. It's like, there's a section of the ER that's just hallways. And even with that capacity, we could have up to like over 100 patients. So then we'd have more beds in the hallways. It's insane. And I worked at a level 1 trauma in a major city, so keep that in mind too. But it was too much for my little heart. I was keeping patients alive, but it's just like, if you don't love what you do, why are you doing it? Because I'm only 24 years old, and I don't have like responsibilities. Like I have some, but I don't have people who depend on me per se. Like I have sick family members, but I don't have a child who needs to eat, go to school. Like at the drop of a hat, I can get rid of this place. Like I could decide I'm done with my car. Like, so I was just like, I don't need to be here. So I'm gonna remove myself from this space. And I learned a lesson in this. Like, there's nothing wrong with the ER. I 100% support anybody who wants to start in the ER as a new grad, because I feel like it gave me great tools, a great mindset. I'm a bit like scatterbrained. Like I could do one test, do all the other tests. So it was good for me in that sense because I could do all the things. I could do all the little different tasks. So I did like that aspect of it. But where was I going with this? I don't know. I support you if you want to do that. But now I'm an OB. Since then, I also did float pool nursing for the women's hospital in my area. And isn't this cute? It says I'm a nurse all over it. There's a little stain, like a water stain. Because girl, I'm always drinking on top of some water. But we're gonna see how it looks. And if I don't like it, I'm gonna take it out. But so yeah, I did float pool for a little bit, pretty briefly. And the thing with float pool for me was I just didn't appreciate the provider nurse dynamic. Like in the ER, I will say incredible communication across like the different professions, like nursing assistant, nurse, doctor. I feel like in my experience, it was really good. Like I never felt outright disrespected. Like maybe by like 1 or 2 people, but keep in mind, I work with a lot of people in our big ER. Like I would say it was at least like usually around 15 to 20 nurses on the night, and a handful of doctors, like maybe like 8 or so. But I felt like my opinion was respected. If I felt like something was wrong with the patient, they went and looked, they assessed, they were there. But I'm not seeing that in other parts of this hospital. And for this purposes, I work at Weenie Hut Juniors. Just keep that in mind. I don't appreciate the interprofessional communication. And I felt like whenever something was concerning to me, it was belittled. It was made to like seem less than. You would have to like low-key beg somebody to come and look at the patient. And I felt like I was pushing people into situations that they weren't completely informed of, like the impact of these decisions, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I work in the community that has very little like health education, don't really understand, especially like medical terminology. And like, granted, we do try to explain it in like layman's terms, but if you're already like in an acute situation, you are not ready to learn. You are not going to retain the information I'm telling you. Low key, like when you come to the hospital, you gotta like come with some information, especially for birth. You gotta know a little bit before you show up. And I'm not trying to make this all their responsibility. I'm just saying it would help. And I say it would help because if you come in, you don't know much about birth except that you're here to have a baby, which is beautiful. But if I'm offering you, do you want to do this versus that, and you don't know what either of those are, it's kind of not your decision anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I offer you vanilla or chocolate and you ain't never had either, whatever I give you, you're going to be like, okay. I hope that makes sense. But like, I never pushed anyone into anything. I inform them, let them make a decision, but it's kind of like a shoot in the dark. Like, you don't know what you've gotten yourself into when you make that decision. And that's really scary to make in an acute situation. So I don't know. I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. And I'm glad that's what I was going to say earlier. The lesson I learned in my 2 years of nursing is don't be afraid to quit. Holla. It's okay to quit. It is okay to give up and say, I don't want to do this anymore. And that, it takes a strong person to do that, I will say. Because with the ER, I stuck it out for a year. I'm on my year experience. I stayed there for a year and a half. Because Lowkey, after the year, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like wandering in the dark. Like, I'm just going to work. And I am so glad I learned that lesson, because you find people doing jobs for like 30 plus years and hate it. When it's like, bro, there are so many options. But after you keep showing up to somewhere for a while, you kind of feel like there are no options. You be like, well, I got retirement here, I get my benefits here, and I like this parking spot, dude. And, you know, Greg kind of cool at work. We kind of got a little seating arrangement going on. Boy, girl, them day. If you don't get your up and find you something you want to do, like, life too short. Don't be expecting that life expectancy at 70, and you might not make it past 40. Like, let's be for real. You need to do what you want to do. Look at these stickers. I got it at my orientation. So cute. But yeah, I'm so grateful I learned that lesson, because not to knock anybody who's been in this profession a long time, the only way I see these nurses who've been in the field like 20, 30 more years is because nursing wasn't the same then as it is now. Nursing low-key messed up now. And yeah, I think the new nurses who have recently come into the profession, I don't know, I think far less of us are going to stay in this profession for as long as those nurses did, because nursing has changed drastically fast, in a very fast pace. Especially in the pandemic, like increased that like 10 times more. It exposed the healthcare disparities even more, like the weaknesses. It buckled. It's messed up. And yeah, but I'll do any task, any order in the world, but it's that charting for me. But yeah, you'll get a nurse that make you question your whole life, and I ain't like feeling like that. And I have to say, but in the ER, I feel like it was a lot of people I work with, and they would treat me personally like I hadn't done anything. after I had like a really messed up shift, and like 80%, maybe even 90% of all my shifts I felt like were really messed up. And for me to have a messed up shift and already be feeling like that mentally, and then have you come on and question me, like I've just been standing here staring into the void for 12 hours, is like messed up. Because I know for a fact when I came to work, like, excuse me, YouTube, but I worked my ass off. And I would come home feeling defeated, like mentally, physically destroyed. And I'm not a crier. I don't cry at work. Like, some nurses will literally break down, cry. They station, like, not to make fun of them, but like, I'm not. And people be like, you're so calm, you're so collected, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just don't care about stuff. Like, I do care. I care immensely. And nobody will ever know, like, the terrible stories I carry with me from the ER that stick with me and I will never forget. And I feel like it's not fair. Just because I didn't complain doesn't mean I didn't work hard. And I saw a post about that I think it called those type of people like hypervisible or something like that. Like, you know, the type of people that get a task, say they get a little task, and they complain about it so much to everybody, management, other staff, loudly. So everybody knows that they have that hard assignment, hard task to do, versus me, I just shut up and get through it and get it over with. Like, and then nobody even knows about it, except maybe like the charge nurse who gave it to me. But the hypervisible person who made all those complaints and everything gets promoted quicker, more to like trauma nurse, all these things, because she made it known. She, they, whoever made it known that they had that hard task to do. And I'm not that type of person. I'm not about to sit here and complain loudly for everybody to know. Like, shut up, get it done, and move on. That's who I am. And that's another thing. I didn't really see myself moving anywhere in that pathway. Even though there have been times like I stepped in as a trauma nurse and I had asked Pepper, if you don't get it together, asked to move up in that role, and they kind of just, yeah, but it was very like unorganized, and that never happened. And I already was like, I don't really want to be here, but I was like, if I'm here, I might as well move up and get some more skills. But that wasn't even happening. So it was a very like stagnant role for me. And it was kind of, like I said, it came to a point where I was just showing up, and I wasn't happy that I was showing up. And I wasn't moving anywhere. I wasn't moving up, down, left, right. I was just a dot. And yeah, now to further my growth, I've decided to continue on the pathway to become a midwife. And recently I got into the midwifery program I wanted to, which I'm really happy about that. And I low-key like doubted myself. I didn't think I would get in, but which is really stupid. But I'm glad I applied anyways. And I love the program. I recently went to Kentucky for orientation. The campus was beautiful. I met so many other people who felt the same way I did. And yeah, we bonded. It was awesome. Yeah, I'll probably have to make a little video about that and my experience with that. Yeah. So the past 2 years of nursing has been about dealing with feelings of inadequacy, knowing I'm enough, knowing when to walk away from a situation. And like I said, I am proud of the fact that I'm 24 years old, and I know when the fuck it's time to walk away. Like, this situation isn't giving. It's giving we going nowhere, so I'ma go. And I like that about me. So, yeah. Kayla, Lynn, RN, thanks for watching. I know y'all been like, where's she been at? What's happening? More ER videos. Sorry, ain't gonna be no more of those. So, yeah, that's it. Overall, my last little tidbit would be why it's okay to quit as a nurse. I once saw something that said, like, signs it's time to quit your job. You're starting to be late, like, every day. That was key for me. I was like, leaving my house at 7. Had to be there at 7. Some other signs. It's like I said, that feeling of dread. You get physically ill when it's time to go to work. You don't need to be in that space anymore. It's not healthy. Yeah, it's affecting your mental health. No matter what you do, you feel like your cat's gonna show up. No matter what you do, you feel like you're not good enough. And even in life outside of work, it's starting to make you feel like you're not good enough, which isn't okay. And you know what? Because I know somebody's gonna say it, but me saying it's okay to quit doesn't mean I quit everything. I am a dedicated person when I feel like I'm doing something that's beneficial not only to me but to others. And I mean, clearly I'm still in nursing, so I didn't give up on it completely. I'm just saying, know when to move on. Because if you don't move on, it's going to reflect in your work, and it could possibly produce a bad outcome. That's all I'm saying. And had you recognized that that was not the space that you needed to be in, you could have avoided that. Like, if you recognize that. But if you forced yourself to stay, you could produce a bad outcome. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying I quit everything without a notice or anything like that, because I've never done that. I've never quit without a notice. I've lulled it over. I've thought about it. I've considered every aspect, how this could end up. I've talked about it with people. I've talked about it with management. And yeah, I'm not saying just up and drive away to North Dakota or something like that, out in the blue in the middle of the night, and leave behind your whole house and everything. I'm not saying that. But yeah, because I don't want nobody to be like, oh, don't hire her. She quit at the drop of a hat. Do not do that. I'm just inspiring you to do what's best for you.